What's up, guys? This is YGO Silence coming at you with another deck profile. Now, before I get into this video, I quickly want to say it's been a while since I posted a video. I have not had as much time to do videos or YouTube or Yu-Gi-Oh in general, and I've been really busy. So this is the first one in a while. This is a deck I really enjoy. This is actually Odd Eyes. Funny story, I got the Duelist pack, the new one that came out with the 3 structure decks, because I really wanted to play Dark Magician, which, by the way, I will come out with a deck profile very soon for that. But I built the Dark Magician deck, started playing it, had a good time with it, really liked the deck. But then I'm like, whatever, I had these 2 other structure decks, may as well throw something together, maybe they're not bad. Wow. Was I right on that one, because Odd Eyes are probably one of my new favorite decks to play right now. It's incredible, it's consistent, alright, and it's extremely powerful. I have actually put out some boards that I think are borderline unbreakable with just 5 cards. The consistency this deck has is incredible. Now, also, I quickly want to say, the support this deck got with Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum made the deck very strong, but it's not done yet. Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon is coming out very soon, and when that card comes out, it's going to be 3 of, and this deck's going to be stupid. Alright, it's going to be broken, it's going to be incredible. I think the deck is really strong right now. I'm going to go over some of the thoughts and testing I went through and the thoughts I have about this deck. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, well, getting off into the main deck. Alright, this is the part of the deck where really you shouldn't change anything. I like to think this main deck is pretty much the be-all, end-all when it comes to this Odd Eyes Pure Dragons. Very effective. But anyway, 3 Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum. This is the new monster that came out in the Duelist pack, and wow. It's extremely powerful, extremely good, and I mean, I think it just makes the deck absolutely absurd. It's not really your boss monster, it's more like a support monster that really just brings the whole deck together, because you are popping a lot of stuff, and its effect to allow you to special summon from the deck, hand, or graveyard is really strong. Odd Eyes Pendulum. This is a really good card because it is technically a low scale in Odd Eyes because it is a 4. And that's really weird to say because usually 4 scales suck. But anything less than 7 in this deck is what I would consider a low scale. But Odd Eyes Pendulum is really powerful. It pops itself, allowing you to add a 1500 or lower Pendulum monster, which is nice. But also it triggers Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum effect, so if you can't get anything going during your turn, which is actually really rare, it does pop itself, and then it goes straight into plays later that allows you to kind of do some work. But it's not the ideal play. It rarely happens for me. 3 Crobat Jokers. Man, these cards are good. I love this card. Pretty much any Performapal, any Odd Eyes, any Magician deck runs this at 3, and there's a very good reason. It's your Stratos of the deck, hashtag free Stratos, by the way, but it's a very powerful card, very effective. Next, 3 Persona. Persona's actually a really, really good card, and I didn't know how I felt about this until I tested with this a lot. It's a very, very effective way to just deal with cards from the extra deck, alright? And it's a low scale at 1, which is awesome, and it's just a really good card to have in the deck, really good card to have in your hand, and I find myself searching that actually a lot when I'm setting up these, borderline unbreakable boards. It's a great card. Next, 3 Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon, which, by the way, I'm going to rarity max these things as soon as possible because I do love this deck. But Odd Eyes Phantom. Odd Eyes Phantom is your true Draco out. This is the best way to deal with Masterpiece, just to deal with big monsters and run them over. A lot of the cards in this deck are 2500. This card allows you to add 1200 on top of that in different scenarios and stuff. And that's 3,700. You could run over Masterpiece with that. You could run over just about anything you want. And so that's just a really nice way. I mean, you don't have to dance around with effects or anything like that when you just run the bastard over, which is really nice to deal with. Next, 3 Astrograph. Now, for a while, I did have this at 2, and I thought, 2's a little weird, or 2's not strong enough, because this is still a really good card. It's a low scale for 1. And it's just a really good way, because you're popping so much stuff, to get a 7 on the board. So it's good for Xyz plays, it's good for Synchro plays. It's just a good card all around to have, and really, I don't brick with this much at all, if ever. Next, 2 Noble Dragon. Noble Dragon is your go-to for 7s, and you have one card that allows you to go to an 8, but I rarely use it that way. Noble Dragon is just an awesome card to get your synchro plays in. You have some very strong synchro monsters in this deck that can really turn the tide of any duel. Finally, one Odd Eyes Lancer and one Max C. Max C should be in every deck you play. It's a really sacky card, but if you draw into it and your opponent tries to go off, it's just incredible. And then Odd Eyes Lancer is the card I most summon from Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon's effect. Summoning it from the deck, it allows you to protect your cards from card and battle destruction, which is really, really nice. And doing so pops cards on the field, which triggers Arc Pendulum again. So it's just a plus machine. It's very, very powerful. But anyway, that is our monster lineup. Let's go into the spells. Alright guys, starting with the spells. 3 Sky Iris, and 3 Terraforming. This really is your main combo piece in the deck. It allows you to go off on your plays and generate advantage by popping cards. 3 Duelist Alliance. This is your main searcher of the deck. It's always live because your entire deck is Pendulum monsters. Next, 3 Spiral Flame Strike. This is probably your best searcher in the entire deck. It allows you to add 1 level 7 Odd Eyes or pop a card if you have one on the field, so it's just very reliable in a large amount of situations. 1 Summoner's Art to round out your search engine. This is just to search Arc Pendulum Dragon, which is really, really powerful. This is effectively your 4th copy of it straight up in your deck, which is really nice. 2 Odd Eyes Fusion. I tried running 1 because this can be searched with Sky Iris, but frankly having 2 in the deck is very, very powerful. It allows you to do a lot of different things, and a lot of your fusion monsters are extremely powerful. Alright, finish off the spells. 1 Dark Hole, 1 Raigeki, and 1 Upstart. This is technically a 39 card deck because of Upstart. It's extremely powerful. Alright guys, that's the end of my main deck and spells, so let's get right into the extra deck. Now to get on your extra deck. The extra deck is really up to you in a lot of different ways, but I do think this is the best way you can play it. 1 Clearwing Synchro. This is a very good defensive card. 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. Very powerful offensively depending on what you have in your scales. Black Rose allows you to clear the board, which is always nice. Supreme King Dragon Clearwing also clears the board. It's a very powerful synchro lineup. You can only go into the 8 when you use Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon. And so he's your only real 8, and you could use that with Noble Dragon Magician. But those are the only way you can actually get into it effectively. Alright, now fusions. 1 Odd Eyes Vortex, 1 Starving Venom Dragon, and then 1 Supreme King Starving Venom Dragon. Now also, there's one other card I really want to talk about. This is a proxy, but Rune Eyes is extremely powerful. Rune Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Sometimes you'll have a Skull Crobat Joker on the field and you really do want to get rid of him. Or if you don't have 2 dragons and you have a Skull Crobat on field or in hand, Rune Eyes is actually a really powerful card to go into. It's a very niche pick, but I do feel the deck can fit him in there, and you don't need to run 2nd dragons of Vortex. And so I think that's probably the best option in that case. Next for the Xyz, 1 Odd Eyes Absolute, 1 on Red Eyes Flare Metal. Red Eyes Flare Metal is just a really good way to deal with your opponent if they start trying to, if they're really low on life points and they, you really want to just burn them to death, make sure they can't do anything. 1 Big Eye, 1 Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. Don't run regular Dark Rebellion, it's shit. It's not good. 1 Tornado Dragon. And then finally, 2 other proxies I really do want to talk about is Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon and Odd Eyes Raging Dragon. Now this deck is not extremely aggressive, but these cards can give you very powerful OTK potential. And so it's really something you need to think about. Then again, your extra deck is really up to you, but this is the way I opt into. Alright, that's our extra deck. Let's go into the side. Alright guys, your side deck is really up to you. Alright, you don't have to play any card really. I really do like the main deck. There's not too much I would change depending on the matchup, but there are a few instances where some of these cards are effective. Alright, now let's start with 3 Ghost Ogre. I always like having hand traps. If I had Ash, I would run 3 Ash, but they're expensive as hell, so I do not own any, and so I do not run any. Next, 3 Wavering Eyes. Wavering Eyes is an incredible card in the Mirror match, which you won't see too often, but in the Pendulum Magician match, Wavering Eyes is incredible. Alright, it really does allow you to do a lot of stuff. Stop your opponent. Just keep their scales off the field, which is really nice. Same reason for Twin Twisters. I'm actually considering pulling Twin Twisters because you do just have a ton of Pendulum hate in this side deck. And so you could kind of opt into whatever you want. This is just my opinion. You know, you could always run anything you want in this side deck. And then finally, last card in there, Proxies again. Dimensional Barrier is an incredible card. I would highly recommend playing it against Pendulum Magicians or any extra deck focused deck. You can't call Link, which sucks, but you could call everything else, including Pendulums. And so that's just a really effective way to just say no to your opponent. So that being said, let's get to closing comments. Alright guys, this was my Odd Eyes deck profile. I hope you enjoyed the video. Quickly, before I close this off, I want to say that this deck is still getting support. So I would really say now is a good time to get into it, start learning how to play it. Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, in my opinion, breaks this deck, makes it absolutely absurd. It's something you should really start thinking about playing at a competitive level, at a local level, whatever you want. With that being said, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.